Even with even in the World Cup, we saw him make a couple. What was that one goal? I think he scored their first goal of the tournament. That was like from outside the box. So
Yeah.
he's really talented, and coming to Anfield, he's going to receive nothing but love. So hopefully he can capitalize on that, and
We're gonna be getting
be that missing
Caicedo.
piece we've needed to And I mean, we just saw Trent go out and create as playing midfield for England.
Against
So
Malta.
yeah, I think you got to consider. I mean, I think Trent's still the best right back in the world, but I think if his defensive ability at times leaves us vulnerable. I don't think he's a bad defender, but I think sometimes his positioning on the pitch, being far up on the right, because he's a part of the attack and he's very important in the attack. If you could just tell by his assist totals, he's been what 2 or 3 of the last 3 or 4 years in the Premier League, he's led the league in assists as a defender. So you can't knock that, but I mean, maybe it is time for him to play a more attacking role and get someone else to fill out, or go for a 3 center back. Maybe do more of a midfield, put Fabinho in that kind of center defensive mid role, and just have Van Dijk, Konate, and someone else playing center back instead of doing a 4 defender formation.
We're about to get Nicholas Jackson from Villarreal tomorrow, and Caicedo is gonna be. We're gonna be putting bids in for him, and
another Brighton guy who's young and has been I mean, Brighton's been good, man, and it's kind of a shame to see them get dismantled. But I'm excited to get Alexis, and Caicedo's good too. You guys should be excited about him if he's going to come.
the reason I want him is because I want to go to Arsenal because they won't get him. Plus, he'll bring great presence to our midfield with Enzo, and we're gonna have to go for another midfielder. I think another right winger, 2 center backs, and a goalkeeper. We already lost it on Onana. To probably going to United. Foot on the left. Kukurea is going to Newcastle. It looks like.
Yeah, that was a waste of a signing.
Yeah. I was really hoping for him because the day we signed him was when Brighton said we're not selling him. Then Fabrizio just came out wild, and some guy said you lied. Said we'll see who lied, and that's next day it was crazy. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah, no. What did our table look like last year?
Yeah.
I picked Liverpool to win, so I was wrong. But
I picked Liverpool by a lot. Yeah, I had Chelsea going second.
Who do we have in the relegation zone?
I had Everton going.
Leeds. I didn't. Well, and Everton was close.
I
definitely didn't pick Leeds to get relegated.
I had Liverpool winning it, Chelsea second, City third, Spurs fourth, Arsenal fifth, United sixth, Newcastle seventh.
Where did Spurs end up finishing? I forget.
Fifth. No, eighth.
Yeah, I say Liverpool was fifth.
Arsenal fifth, 6 United. I had Newcastle seventh, West Ham eighth, Villa ninth, Palace 10th, Wolves 11th, Brighton 12th, Southampton 13th, Brentford at 14th, Nottingham at 15th, Leicester at 16th. I think I got that wrong. Leeds 17th, Everton 18th, Fulham 19th, and AFC Bournemouth finishing the last.
Did we get any of them right?
No.
None of us got a single thing right.
Nope.
Wow. Well, that's why we don't get paid to do this, Ben.
Nope.
That's pretty funny, actually. We were both far off. I mean, that's what they say. That's why you don't bet on your favorite teams, because normally you end up being disappointed. Like I said, though, about Liverpool, I'm very happy with how we fought at the end of the season. We were lower and we fought back and made it close at the end. So I can't be upset. I mean, we're playing on Thursday nights now. That sucks, but
you also win that.
I mean, the way you got to look at it is go out and win Europa League. Go out there and try and win 4 trophies again next season. Could have been worse. We could have finished 8th or 9th or 10th, wherever you guys finished.
Yep.
But the thing is like with Chelsea, I don't think you guys are going to be down. I mean, obviously you've shown that you can spend the money. It might not have been on the right people. I think the biggest part was getting rid of. I think getting rid of Tuchel was the biggest problem Chelsea had. I think that if Tuchel would have been the coach of the season, you probably wouldn't have finished that low. And Graham Potter did a great job at Brighton, but the lights were too bright.
He started good in October. You got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously it didn't work out. So I think getting rid of Tuchel was just not the right decision.
For real, because I was a big Tuchel fan then. When we got to Southampton with Tuchel out, then when we were going to hire Potter, I was like,
Potter was great at Brighton, but I mean, it's
with Brighton, you have
not the
no
same.
pressure whatsoever, though.
It's not the same.
Yeah. Chelsea's always winning trophies. At Brighton, you can just – he's done great with Brighton because he's done great, but the Derby has done a whole lot better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Brighton still, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how they do next season because they kind of got picked clean. Or they're going to get picked clean this season,
Yeah, I think they'll go – they're going to finish slow. Their owners are
funny because they're going to get rid of a lot of guys that, they'll get money for.
The reason they got to keep their players, because if they don't keep their players, they could end up being relegated in a couple of years. Like Southampton, they had all these players, but they never put the money back in to build the squad, so they might end up getting relegated in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because Southampton was in Europe not too long ago.
How do you think Luton Town's going to do this
They're
year?
done. They're going to finish dead last.
Yeah, I think they'll finish 20th next season. I would like for them to do better, but that's gonna be tough.
We'll probably draw to them like we did in Nottingham Forest this year.
Yeah.
We should be in Nottingham Forest both times this year. It's crazy.
So who got relegated? It was Leicester.
Leeds.
Leeds.
Leicester, Leeds, Southampton.
Wow, wow.
And Leicester won on the last game of the season, and it was, well, imagine winning your last game of the season, then you end up getting relegated.
Yeah, they're gonna get picked clean too. What Yuri Tielemans is gonna go. You got
Tielemans, Madison,
Barnes. Does Barnes still play for them? Harvey Barnes?
Yeah, he still plays for them.
Yeah, and then Vardy.
Vardy's going.
Right. Well, I just saw a wasp, so I'm gonna go back in the house.
Soyuncu is going to Madrid.
What'd you say?
Soyuncu is going to Atletico.
Who's going to Atletico?
Soyuncu. They're center back. They're Swedish.
Oh, from Leicester.
Yeah, Soyuncu. He signed in January.
Interesting.
I really want Ward-Prowse for free kicks, to be honest.
I heard Liverpool was interested.
You probably
I like him, but I don't think. We needed midfielders, and if we're worried about just free kicks, we have Trent and Salah for that. I would go out and say, Ward-Prowse is definitely probably one of the best, if not the best, free kick taker in the world, or ever.
Yeah.
But Trent is very, very good too.
Now let's go to keep and sell. Liverpool's roster. They will do Chelsea. I got a lot of players to sell for sure.
Yeah, you guys just have a lot of big wages on your books that you want to get rid of. Liverpool, I don't know, because you got a lot of young guys who have kind of been injured. Obviously, you keep. I want to keep Diaz. I want to keep Jota. I want to keep everyone up in that attack. Salah, Nunez, all those guys, because I think they're just. I think any one of those guys can be one of the best attackers in the world on any given day.
So Henderson, keep or sell?
That's tough. You know who I wish we would have kept is the guy whose jersey I got on right now, Bobby Firmino. I would have started a GoFundMe to pay him whatever it took to keep him here. That's probably next to Gerrard, my favorite Liverpool player probably ever. But for Henderson, I don't know, because he's what, 33 now, so his value is just going to go down, and his production has slightly gone down. But I also will be the one to say that over the last 4 or 5 years, we wouldn't have won hardly anything if it wasn't for Henderson's leadership and captain ability. He's great. He's been a loyal servant to Liverpool, and losing him will definitely not be great. But at times, he's getting older. He's you got to make room. We're obviously, we got to compete with Manchester City and Real Madrid and all these other, teams that are just getting younger and better.
Joe Gomez.
Who? Joe
Joe
Gomez? I
Gomez.
would sell Joe Gomez. You got Konate, who's young. Joe Gomez is it just seems like he kind of plateaued the last couple of seasons. He hasn't really improved at all. Virgil van Dijk is getting older. I mean, Virgil van Dijk's not young anymore, and he's still one of the best defenders in the world. But you can't. Not everybody's Thiago Silva. I mean, not everyone's going to be one of the best. I mean, being a center back is very tough, especially in this league. So I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain his world class level of play for another 4 or 5 seasons. So Joe Gomez is someone you might want to get some money to kind of reload. And I know we're interested in Van de Ven from Wolfsburg. I want to say, is it Wolfsburg? Is that where he's at?
What's his name?
Van de Ven.
Van de Ven. I heard. Oh, that's who I heard.
The center back.
Yeah.
He's like 25, 26, I think. But he would be a good pickup. I mean, and that's why another reason that I'm saying like possibly doing the 3 backs and then maybe adding, moving Trent up into like a right midfielder role to be more creative. And then, you got like Van Dijk and Konate and Van de Ven, Matip. We still have Matip. We still have Sepp Vandenberg, who was on loan this season, who's young and talented. So, I mean, there's options there, but it just depends on what the boss wants to do. I mean, I trust Klopp. He's definitely brought Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool's been in a much better position. I mean, this year is the worst finish he's ever had in the Premier League, and he finished 5th. That's really we've kind of gotten spoiled a little bit because I remember, the first season we had Klopp being very excited when we beat Arsenal on the final match day to finish top 4. I remember watching that with Jordan and Eric at Molly Malone's. So, you gotta. It's all about perspective. You got to think about where you came from, and Liverpool. Obviously, we have a really great history. We have a lot of trophies, and that's almost the expectation every year. But the Premier League is not. It's a roller coaster. I mean, before Manchester City got bought by the Saudi investment fund, they weren't doing really well either. I mean, they've been relegated more recently than any of us have. So.
Next up, Curtis Jones.
I would loan him. I would send Curtis on a loan to maybe a lower tier Premier League side, just because I think Curtis has a lot to offer. He's got a lot of potential, but it's kind of like you don't want to see him be like like how I was talking about Joe Gomez, where he just kind of like this is as good as he's going to be, or another who was I thinking of? Another midfielder that kind of plateaued. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. I just had it. Anyways, yeah, I would loan Curtis Jones. Same with like Fabio Carvalho. I don't want to get rid of Carvalho yet, but all the signs are pointing to us selling him. So we'll see how that plays out. But Harvey Elliott better stay around. He's a good creative midfielder, and I think he's going to get a lot more chances this year because of the need in that position, and he's already here. He's only 20 years old, so he's not a finished product. But yeah, I don't know. Curtis, I would definitely put on loan because I think he's got more to offer, and I wouldn't just quite sell him yet.
Fabinho.
That's another one where I know I mentioned him earlier and maybe in like a center defensive midfield role, but he's on the other side of 30 now too, so you got to consider, that's another thing. I mean, even with Salah, you got to consider that what value are they going to bring to the team, on the field, and what versus the potential value they could bring in, their transfer value right now, which is only going to decrease over the next few years. So it's something that, I don't see Fabinho training every day. I see what I see on the field and, from thousands of miles away. And I think he definitely took a step back this year, but, I do think he is still a great player. I think he can play in this league. And, 2 years ago when we were injured at center back, and he was one of the best center backs in the world at that point when, we asked him to play a position that he didn't play, and he was amazing. So, but, as I said, every time I think once they hit that 30-year-old mark, not everybody's Messi, not everybody's Ronaldo, not everyone's going to, not everyone's Zlatan that's going to play till they're 35, 36 years old and be world class. So you got to, and they could, Fabinho could play amazing next year. It's not anything you can accurately predict and say for certain, but I think it is a consider selling him. But I mean, I wouldn't be upset if we kept Fabinho. I think he still has a lot to offer the team. He's got a lot of experience and he's won a lot of trophies. So
Thiago?
now, Thiago, when he is healthy, is one of the best midfielders in the world still, in my opinion. But the biggest part is that he hasn't really been able to stay healthy, and that was his problem at Bayern, and that's why Bayern sold him to us for a discounted price, and that's why we're even having this conversation right now about him. I think that Alexis McAllister can fill that role that Thiago plays. I think Thiago is more experienced and maybe a little bit more creative than McAllister is, but McAllister plays more games than Thiago does, and that's if you're gonna play for 4 trophies, that's what you need. So I would shop Thiago. I'm not gonna say I would definitely sell him, but I would see what the market is for him.
Now, last year's FA Cup winning goal from the penalty spot, Kelleher. Keep loan or sell.
That's tough because we've seen. Look at guys like Gigi Buffon. If Alisson keeps up that kind of level of play, he could be our goalkeeper for the next 10 years. So it's tough because goalkeepers. De Gea, Oblak, Neuer, like all these guys play into their late 30s and are phenomenal. So if that's the case, then there's not really room for him to overtake Alisson besides playing cup games, to give Alisson a break. So maybe I'd consider selling him or loaning him. I would love to keep Koeman. He's fantastic. He's 25? He's
24.
24. He's great. He's great. But also, you got to understand from the play, if the guy wants to go, I think you let him get his move because he deserves it. He's played well, and like I said, Alisson isn't declining yet. He's still one of the best keepers in the world. So it's hard to see a way for Koeman to make the first team in the next 2 seasons. And he's going to want his mentors. Oh yeah, get rid of Adrian. He should have never been in a Liverpool uniform.
I read it on Fabrizio Romano's page. They're offering him a new contract.
Who? Adrian?
Yep.
Yeah, because they're going to get him dirt cheap as a backup goalkeeper.
I think I'm trying to find it. I'll see if I can find.
He did win the Super Cup and whatever for us, but I don't know. I've never been the biggest Adrian fan.
That probably flashbacks.
He was a backup at West Ham too, so I don't.
Oh, what did the save he made with his leg when he died the wrong way? Adrian.
I might have been.
I think that was Tammy who missed it. So you can find. Come on, damn Fab's a lot. So you can find Fabrizio. Here we go. God damn.
Yeah, Adrian's not. That's all he's ever going to be as a backup keeper. So it's not super.
Yeah, screw this. But Nathaniel Phillips.
I think you got to sell Nat. I think he deserves it. He's never going to be a starter here. He's never going to, be the guy. He was amazing when we needed him to fill in. I have nothing but love for Nat Phillips. And this is more so me saying, for his sake, I want to see him go somewhere to succeed and get the minutes he deserves. So I love Nat Phillips. I'd love to keep him, but he's going to be he's not ever going to be a starter, a big guy. He's just going to be a role player for us.
What about the Egyptian king Mo Salah?
I love Mo Salah, and Mo Salah, since he's been at Liverpool, has been one of the top 5 players in the world the whole time he's been here. They all said he was a one-season wonder, and he's consistently been, world class every single year we've had him. So it's tough to even justify letting someone like that go. But then you think about the age, you think about how overloaded our attack is. Harvey Elliott can play on that right wing. You've got Diaz, you've got Jota, you've got, and I know they're more traditional on the left side, but you've got, I mean, Carvalho, you've got tons of young, really talented players who could come up there and be good. But I mean, it's hard to, when you look at Mo Salah's stats over the last 4 or 5 seasons, it's really hard to ever justify selling anyone like that unless they start to play worse, and he hasn't. I mean, he's been just as good, if not better, every single season.
Last one. What about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain?
Well, I mean, Ox is gone. I love Ox. He's, he's a great personality. He's been good to the club, but injuries, his value to the team, he hasn't been there when we need him to be there. He's past his prime. He's injured. I think you let Ox go and see what you can get out of him to put more money into that midfield. You want to get guys like Thuram in, and I know Konate is working hard. He said he wants his buddy there. They're both young French players. McAllister's in there. I think you want to go buy another midfielder. I really want to see what Harvey Elliott can do this season. And, maybe Curtis Jones has a breakout season too. But I don't think Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain has any plans in the future here. Klopp's only got 1 or 2 years left on his contract, and who knows what he's going to do after that. I personally think he's going to go coach the German national team if he doesn't get an extension from Liverpool, which I don't think is super likely.
So to end it off, what would be your dream signings for the summer?
Well, if you would have asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said Jude Bellingham, but we'll forget about that. He can go to Real Madrid and, whatever, because I just don't understand. Does that like you've got Valverde, you've got
Tchouaméni,
you've got Camavinga, you've got Bellingham now, you've got Kroos, you've got Modric. Like, obviously Kroos and Modric are older, but I just don't understand. It's not fair. Something's got to be going on there. But dream signing right now, I don't. All right, I'm going to say very wishful thinking, and I'm going to be realistic. So first off, we're going to go wishful thinking. I'm going to say Kylian Mbappe. I'm going to say offer them Nunez and offer him Nunez and Curtis Jones and a bunch of money, and see if we can get Mbappe. $100 million plus Nunez and Curtis Jones. Maybe that can get the deal done, but probably not. I think he's going to be in a PSG uniform next season. Excuse me. Realistically, I think that you want to add to either your midfield or your defense. I've heard a lot about Van de Ven. I would love to have him come play. But dream signing for me would be Gvardiol from is it Leipzig he plays for, the center back, Jasko?
Yeah, him.
He's Croatian.
Yeah, him. Gvardiol,
He's
yeah.
20, 21. Yeah, I think that's, because our like I said,
I think he's going to the City.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But I know that, Van Dijk's getting older, and we got Konate. So I think another, world-class young defender would be ideal for Liverpool and moving forward.
I think we were linked to him as well in January.
Yeah. But, City's got the money to do whatever they want. So.
All right, so I'm going to end it off there. And come on, Tyler. And
thanks, Ben. I'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right.
All right, man. You'll never walk alone.
Up to Chelsea.